What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Black Cinema Experience Podcast. I'm your girl, JB.
I'm Cameron.
And we're going to talk to you today about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. We're not just going to talk about the original, the similarities, or the differences, but we're going to talk about some really outstanding things that show up in the episodes and show up in the new season that really reflects our generation, I think.
And which is better? I'm joking.
No, for real. Let's have the conversation. Which is better? So please tune in. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe while we have this nice, deep conversation on some lovely black cinema. Okay, I'll start us off then.
Absolutely, but
okay, first thing I want to talk about is this new Will Smith.
Jabari Banks.
Little cute Jabari. How do you feel about him as the Will Smith, like as this new generation of Will Smith? What do you feel when you see his character?
I think they got it right. It's crazy because I really do see the similarities. Like, it's crazy. Like, during the frat scene, he's like, y'all craw.
Yeah.
I was like, is this Will Smith incarnated? Like, reincarnated? This is crazy.
Yeah, he really does have the mannerisms, and a lot of these young actors, I can honestly say they don't look just like the celebrity they're portraying.
Exactly.
But they definitely feel like it. And when I watched the first season of that show, I was like, man, this little boy really feels like home. He really gives you that goofy essence of Will Smith in the show.
It was like a really good transition between the shows, I feel like, too, because
to
bring it back after 20 years, I feel like having somebody new to and Will Smith's not necessarily involved in it on camera I was kind of like hesitant at first, but it's really, really good.
Yeah, spin-off shows can go really wrong.
Go south.
But this show has so much identity of its own. It's so separate from being like an extension of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It really is like Fresh Prince Bel-Air, the drama.
Exactly.
It goes so deep into like black issues. Something that I think is so cool about this show is specifically the use of brown-skinned people.
I think that was very deliberate. Like I got that like
so good.
Right, like people paid attention that we like dark skin Aunt much more.
Yeah.
And they're they're like, we're not gonna mess this up. We're not gonna change anything this time. We not just Aunt Viv, Uncle Phil, everybody black. Everybody dark skin.
Everybody black, everybody dark skin. That is actually one of my favorite things about this show.
It's nice to see.
It's really nice to see. And what's so great about Uncle Phil, dark skin Uncle Phil, he still represents that strong pillar in the black family. Like he still is so masculine. Like there's been a lot of changes, but that bald head, that little masculine figure, the way that he talks, even having Jeffrey as his right hand, it's so much power behind the new Uncle Phil. Definitely.
And I like that they did that, as made it more of a fatherly role, because they did make the show a little bit more serious compared to the Fresh Prince, which again, I'm not trying to make it seem like one is better than the other.
Right.
But
no way.
Seeing that, I feel like it was revamped in a newer way that us, our generation, millennials, can relate to, since we grew up with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right.
So having a little bit more serious, because some of these topics are a little bit more serious than they try to portray them before. So, all of that, they did that.
Yeah, no, and again, I'd say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the original, is a comedy.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air right now, this is a drama. I mean, everything from the first episode all the way to the end, just the first season, was just set up so well. There was such a beautiful story arc in every episode where there's this climax, like, oh my God, is something gonna happen to him? Is he gonna get murdered? Is his friend gonna get murdered?
I was scared.
Yeah, it just there's so much drama to it. And then, there's also a lot of wonderful tension created with the show. My favorite tension is Aunt Viv and Hillary.
Yes.
Yeah. Dark skin Hillary too. Coco Chanel. What's her name? Is that her name?
Coco Jones.
Coco Jones. Woo-wee. Lord, she's
she
fine.
She can sing too, by the way.
Yeah, she can.
I like that relationship dynamic too, because I feel like that brings up a really, really sore subject for a lot of black women with their mothers. Sometimes you always have that tension because a lot of black women haven't put on that strong persona, and then also they bring up how she kind of give up her dreams for her family, so she kind of wants her children to really push it and jump out. Yeah. But Hillary being a more sheltered version of a black kid, having these advantages, being a free black person, you know, I feel like it provides a lot of tension between her and her mom.
Yeah, for sure. Something else that creates tension between the two of them is just like how women are. Like as a woman, we could watch it and we all understand that whole two lions in one kitchen. Like we're gonna devour each other. Type energy. And then there's also this like you need to be independent, but you need to do things my way.
Exactly.
She was encouraging Hillary. She was supportive of all of her kids in her way though. It was like, yes, when in the beginning she's telling Hillary like, you know what, you need to work with these people that I'm telling you, and you need to be more modest, Hillary, you need to cover up. And Hillary's like, no mom, that's not gonna work for me.
I'm doing it my way.
I'm doing it my way. And she still did something that was still classy, still tasteful, but still hers. And I think that that's where a lot of that tension actually comes with mother and daughter relationships. Like the mom is usually like, do it my way. I support you. I'm just not supporting you how you actually need to be supported.
And I think they brought that up too as far as like Hillary and her dad. You know, how he is like he does save her, you know,
yeah, every
and
time.
But I feel like it's an important aspect because I feel like so many times when we see black films and black people failing, it's like they have to hit hard. Yeah, that's it. They're out for the count. But I feel like it's good to see like you know that there are parents and there are loving parents that will save you. You know, when you make a mistake. When she signed that whack deal with that guy, you know, for the content house, and I feel like that was so important to see. Like you know, even though when there's tension between you and your family is still there to save you. You're not hung out to dry. True.
No, 100% true. Her family had her back. They really did. They were always showing up for her. And yeah, 100%. Their family dynamic was crazy. But you know what's crazy is the new Carlton.
Yeah, I was about to bring him up.
Okay. Tell me what you think about the new Carlton.
Well, because like, I was thinking about how they saved Hillary, but with Carlton, I feel like it is kind of like Will's in town and the Carlton show is over, you know?
Yeah.
And you could tell like that shift between Carlton being like the jewel of his dad's eye, you know, he was doing everything right, has good grades, he's running for class president, lacrosse, captain. But Will having like basketball, bringing it back to history because they're all from Philly. It's a typical masculine black man. He's so charismatic. He's a basketball player. He's probably heading to the NBA. You can see like how hurt Carlton is by like that shift and like it really is a shift in his armor. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, in the first season, Carlton is 100% a villain. It's so crazy because in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the original, Carlton is this character who's just nerdy, and we love him. Yeah, like he's in a way he really wants Will's acceptance, but we love him because he's goofy and he's nerdy and he's sweet, and and he has this little dance. He's Carlton. But then you fast forward to this new drama, right? And this Carlton has a chip on his shoulder. This Carlton, he's not funny. He's very serious. He's very rough edge. It's actually very easy to hate this new Carlton. And even the way that he deals with their Lisa, and how he's like protective. Oh, wait. Now that I'm thinking about Lisa's cute ass, I have to say, don't you love Lisa?
I love how they incorporated her more into the story as a character, not just like Will's girlfriend.
Yes.
Like the fact that she had a relationship with Carlton, but also like Carlton's mom, like the family. She's a part of their family. Yeah. I feel like that was a really good angle and like very, very clever that they slipped that in there. Like to give like more roundedness in the character development.
Yeah, to incorporate her storyline. Yeah, they really they were like, let's build her into this. Exactly. She's not just some hot girl. But you know what, on that same track though, like I think that she's so pretty and she is everything outside of the lines as far as what we normally see as the hot girl. Yeah. In the second season, we do see Will basically get booed up with somebody else, and the girl that he's dating in the second season looks like what you expect the Will Smith, I'm the basketball star to date, right? But in the first season, Lisa is like the apple of his eye, and she's a little thick one. Exactly. She's got her natural hair. She's a little dorky. It's like so cute and it's so innocent. And I love the fact that they didn't make our main girl some sexual, eye candy.
Well, because they kind of hinted at that in the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when they had Queen Latifah be one of Will Smith's love interest, but she was his best friend, and he didn't see her like that because they were trying to get past like she was more tomboyish or a little bit thicker. Yeah. So to see Lisa be like this thick goddess, you know, but just a beautiful girl. It really did make it out to be like she's not just an object, and I really appreciate that because we know, especially when it comes to like a lot of black cinemas in particular, if you're not like the baddie, you're not gonna get that role as the love interest.
Yeah.
And so it was good to like see them whip that around. I'm like, no, she's a baddie, but she's also a baddie in just not your typical way.
Right. She's like really like natural.
No,
like,
really.
When I saw her, I was like, wow, natural black girls, like making it like back on film, like in a normal way.
As they should.
It feels so good to see it. So good to see it. So another thing I want to talk about with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is Jazz's character.
That was again fly.
Yeah.
He was annoying. Uncle Phil hated him. Always toss him out, which was hilarious though when he would do that little toss off the front door. Everybody knew was coming in.
A comedy. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the original, is a comedy.
Yes. But I mean, I think it's an important situation to talk about because we don't really talk about how men or fathers can be really possessive of their daughters.
Yeah.
He's not really possessive about Lisa and Carlton. Lisa was in the family the whole time. Everybody knows Lisa. Everybody knows Lisa's story. But as soon as it comes to Hillary, that she's dating, it's like I can't have her out here dating.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really interesting perspective.
But even with the Hillary, like in the beginning, in the original, she was this like airhead. They made her very spacey, and like I mean, the show is excellent as far as comedic purposes. But like in the new one, like Hillary has purpose. She's a businesswoman. She's a boss girl, and I don't necessarily love the whole idea of the hardworking black woman, but I do love seeing her not be an airhead beauty. Like she's bad, smart, pretty. She's everything that you would want.
I feel like I don't see her as like the hardworking, like chip on the shoulder, like typical, like almost like brute force workforce woman in the show. But I do see what you mean as far as like you don't like that narrative being pushed. But I feel like they do a good job by making Aunt Viv like actually go for her dream. She's like, I did this, I helped set you up. Phil, now it's time for you to set me up. And then he is,
Yeah.
I like how when they have disagreements, they're in it together. Like she's like, we said, we wouldn't be mad at each other. We're gonna talk about it, And I feel like that's so good to see like healthy relationship, but also see like what it's like when you have to shift dynamics.
Yeah.
I had the power. I was running for office. We didn't do that. So now it's my time to shine. And and so her getting her, grant for her art and pursuing her dreams, Aunt Viv that is. I feel like they do kind of balance it out a little bit.
And it's also nice to see that age group reflected in a attractive way because in both seasons, I'm not going to talk about season 2 too much, but in both seasons though, they both have outside love interests that are vying for their attention. And it's really great to see like older, I guess, black people that are still the apple of other people's eye. And it's important because I think as a woman, they tell you when you're, they basically tell you that when you get older, ain't no options left. If you didn't get married, you get choice, you're just alone. And it's just great to see like, okay, they're still being sexual, they're still being desired, they're still having these connections and making new paths for themselves. So, and it's great to see Aunt Viv with a freaking passion because in the original, we don't know what did Aunt Viv do besides love Uncle Phil.
Exactly, and like they would bring up like she's a professor, she's a teacher, she has her degrees.
Yeah,
they did give her like esteem, but it wasn't shown. So she was still just essentially a child bearer.
Yeah.
And again, we're not. I don't want to dump on that show because I feel like it's so important that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was like a show and gave us something positive to look at. But I love how they are exploring these different characters and like you said, everybody has somewhere to go.
Yeah.
It's not just Will.
For that time frame, what Aunt Viv and Hillary were doing for the original was a fair portrayal for that time frame for TV shows and for women, because they weren't really pressing women's careers that much in TV in general. So to see that, it's like, okay, that's fine for then. This is now. So it's really great to see how history has progressed us to get to the level that we are with them and to see them actually have lives and businesses and things to do, it's really good to see that. My other favorite character, because now I'm just talking about the characters. We're never talking about how the film
is shot. And I'm fine with that because the characters they're good. This
is the last character, and then we got to talk about how this thing was shot, okay? But Jeffrey.
Yes.
Thoughts and feelings about our dear Jeffrey. The new Jeffrey.
Well, I love it. They still kept it with the British, which is
Ooh,
how I was gonna wonder how they were gonna do it, but they did it like with the Nigerian, like British, which is like real black. Again, Jeffrey.
Not to say anything against Jeffrey, the original.
He held it down, you know. But just seeing like that Jeffrey's not like some walkover, you know. Butler. And again, like
yeah, it sounds like we're shitting on the original.
No, but I feel like they did kind of like not necessarily like feminize Jeffrey. In the original,
they did a little bit,
though. But they made it seem like he was like not a real person.
Yeah,
they said that he was just like a non-sexual character, which is fine. That's what you're going for. But to give Jeffrey some presence in this in Bel-Air, I felt like that was such a fresh take on it.
I think of Jeffrey in modern Bel-Air as like Philip's henchman.
No, for real.
You know, it's like he's there to handle the lightweight.
Like his his right hand.
Yeah, literally. And like, so he dresses with respect and dignity. Yeah, the British accent, super dignified, super elegant. I love that. But then they are giving him some complexity to his story. We know that Jeffrey can do bad things. We don't know what. Like when Will has a little problem and the dude disappeared, we don't know. When Jeffrey did, Jeffrey did do it. Whatever he did it.
He has something to do with it.
Yeah, for sure. Like they didn't tell us. And that's another thing that's really great about the Fresh Prince Modern is that it's a drama. And this is not in comparison to the original. The fact that it's a drama and there are some gaps in the story where you're like, what does happen here? What why did there's a lot of questions in it that make you stay captivated by the show.
And like at least room for like the imagination in the sense that you really get to feel like you are a part of the world.
Yeah.
And like you're speculating what's going to happen next too. And I feel like that's what it keeps me on my toes. Like, this series, especially with the season finale. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen next?
Right.
next season.
But the character growth, like all along though, like even though they did certain things, especially that first episode to really mirror the original Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. They did a different story. I mean, even with Will falling in the pool and him and Carlton arguing about it. I mean, they really like gave us a different version that felt more real to today. You know, I mean, of course, we're using technology now. Like, this isn't Will Smith grown up. This is really Will Smith placed in 2023, living life, and that's what makes it so cool to watch.
Because we all had our own preconceived notions about what the show was going to be, and how it could end, and what to do. But I feel like they did a really good job. They still could have did the theme song in West Philadelphia, Born and Raised.
Yes, 100%.
But again, it's a new show. We gotta freshen it up. We gotta bring
have a different take.
And I love that. But before you go, I know we gotta talk about the cinematography, but we have to talk about Ashley because I feel like
Ashley, our little LGBTQ check mark.
But I feel like it wasn't a check mark because I feel like it is organic for like a lot of little girls in this day and age. Sometimes to question your sexuality, and I feel like they brought it up in a very non-invasive but very like relatable way. Because from what I've gotten, like she kind of identifies as as part of the LGBTQ community, but it's like not something that's super sure. Yeah. And that it just gives that that mystery because that's how a lot of kids grew up. You have like those feelings, but it's not necessarily like I'm this, I'm gonna be this. And she does have her moments where she's proud, but I feel like it's still like her growing and developing, and I think that's gonna be really good, interesting perspective to look at throughout the show.
Yeah, and I like that you said that because that's true, right? There is a element of mystery, like we don't know exactly when Ashley's going to discover herself all the way and commit to something, but it is nice to see her evolve into herself, but also it's still a check mark.
Yeah.
Okay. they're like, okay, we're gonna include some black people. We're gonna do some check marks here, and we want to represent everything. Now, I think representation is important though, so I think it was important they did make that character a realistic character.
But I feel like that's what they were trying to do kind of with Jeffrey, but they couldn't because it was the 90s, and you just didn't bring that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, this is a topic that is going to be that's always very, very much in our faces today. And I feel like they did a good job of addressing so many different aspects of the black experience, whether it be sexuality, whether it be police brutality, whether it be black people in politics. I feel like they did a good job of like touching on them, but not making it like, I'm being preachy at you right now.
Right. Wow. Yeah, exactly. There is something with certain shows, like I don't want to mention the shows, but there are certain shows that will talk about the like black police politic type things. And like the whole episode, you're like seeing this black injustice, and it's like, oh my heart, black people, why does this have to black people? With the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they did just that. They were like, we're not going to live in the black trauma. Yeah. We're going to stop by.
We'll address it.
Because it's real and it exists. So we're going to do a drive-by, and we're going to take what we see. Y'all saw it. And we're going to move on. And I think that's actually, it's brilliant. Yeah, they touched on it. They gave us a little sample. They let us know that this is real. And they have they do topics that matter with grace.
Yes.
They're very tactful in their approach in a lot of their episodes when they have a main idea, like even like Hillary being the influencer in the house and the lingerie, they just find a way to be very tactful about talking about things that are actually happening in this day and age.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a relevant show. It really is.
Well, even when we're talking about how it's being shot, which we wanted to bring up, but like I love, because we know this show takes place in Bel-Air, but the shots that they give us of LA, like, different shots of Jazz driving his car, or just like so many other.
Let's call it the B-roll. The B-roll is excellent. They're coming in with the over camera views. They're coming in with the close-ups, the far aways. I mean, they have one of those things up there doing stuff.
I can't think of the word.
But they have
the drone.
That's it.
Drone.
You're so good at things.
I'm trying.
That's what I like. That's what I really like that. So the drones, they had the overhead scenes of LA. They started capturing some stuff that we really see every day, like a Randy's Donuts or a Tam Tams and things like that. They were like really capturing it, and it was like beautiful to see your home shot so well, So classy.
You could tell like they spent a pretty penny on producing this show.
They did. But there was also certain scenes, especially with like in the very beginning with the basketball court, all that stuff. It was kind of shot like an action movie. They did a really good job of like actually like making it look like this fight is real. This is really happening. It was nice. They were really thoughtful in again, camera angles and whatnot. It's great to see these black people doing black things.
Just black men. Just living life and handling the situations in, I feel like, unexpected ways.
Yeah.
Like, we used to be like, damn, why God? Everything's happening, but I feel like, it's good to see like people handle different things, like Uncle Phil losing his race. Like, that stuff really happens, and how that affects your family, and how does that affect your career going forward.
I hate to see shows where everything's too positive. That's not realistic.
It's not.
Nobody's life is like that.
And I like to see that they push back on both sides, like when they question Uncle Phil or they question people's, ulterior motives.
Or when they're wrong, like Uncle Phil could be wrong. Like he'd be wrong a lot.
Absolutely.
I'm like, wow.
It happens.
Get this man.
Who would have thought?
Right. But like the original Uncle Phil used to be wrong sometimes too, and he had to humble himself too. So again, it just mimics the original slightly, but it gives us more of a present take. I can imagine a Gen Zer, right? Is that what they're called, Andres? I can imagine them like really seeing the show and like being able to find their character. Being able to relate to this show. But the cinematography, like, let's get back to it. Because the original Fresh Prince could have never had a yellow Lamborghini. They could have never had them Lexuses and all the cars they had pulling up. That grandiose scene. I mean, like, in the original, when you think about it, you're probably, like, in 3 places. Like, you're at Will's, like, cafeteria at school or something. You're in, like, the kitchen, or you're, like, in Ashley's room. Like, you don't see a lot of the rooms. You don't see a lot of the places. Like, they basically kept it inside. This Fresh Prince, we're in Jazz's record shop. We're at Hillary's house with the artists.
We're at
birthday parties with Ashley. We're at art galleries. We're at races for the mayor. I mean, we're everywhere with them. So we really get a whole different all around view of like, wow, they're really living life.
Well, and keep in mind, I mean, that's the hard comparison because the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was filmed in front of a live studio audience at that.
Yeah,
so
true.
So I just love seeing the bloopers as far as like them messing up lines and people laughing or messing up their lines and everybody laughing at them on camera. Which kind of, I mean, I guess you made it feel more like a show. Yeah. Like a da-da-da-da. We got it. But seeing how they changed the complete dynamic of the show and made it like an actual scripted series. Yeah. they had the time, obviously, to
Yeah.
do what they wanted to do
They
and to
really
make it
did.
like amazing. And like I said, like one of my favorite scenes that I have to begin was the fraternity scene. But like
Yeah.
it just felt so organic to see like because I was an RA on my campus for fraternity and sorority life, which was wild. But it was like that organic.
I didn't mean to say
Not as in like it's bad. As in because those dorm rooms were dirty.
Yeah, that's
y'all
exactly.
had to party. But it just felt really organic, you know, like that's how brotherhood is, that's how sisterhood is when they represent, you know. And people get upset when you're not showing up to those events.
Yeah.
People are like, where you been?
Yeah.
You know, how you want our support, but you've been gone. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's so much more believable.
Yeah, I loved it. I love it. That's so good.
But what are you looking for the next season, or what do you want to see on the show from Bel-Air?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. This is like I really think of this new season of Fresh Prince as like a Black Gossip Girl,
Mm-hmm.
like these evolved, rich kids that like make decisions and are emotionally intelligent somehow and know how to apologize. But like they have money and they're also like Black and having a Black experience, even though it's wealthy, it's still Black.
Yeah.
So like I can't even tell you what I look forward to seeing the most besides I mean I want to see more of Hillary Not Viv because I relate to that as a Black woman having a ferocious Black mother. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna go head to head. So I want to see more of their relationship evolve. I want to see Ashley come more into herself. I want to see Carlton quit drugs. Once and for all.
I said, wait, I'm not trying to be shady, but how come every Black show gotta have a Black crackhead? But I'm just.
But like not necessarily, but like yeah, a little bit.
No, but I mean, but I feel like it's a way to deal with real issues. Like a lot of kids, especially in higher income areas,
Yeah.
they deal with like,
Yeah.
substance abuse.
Also, Carlton's very white experience or Black experience in this white school.
Yeah.
Because let's not forget that nigga was really fitting in on the polo team. Like, he was like, well, I'm on the polo team. And it was like, Carlton, like, L7 square.
But
what?
But I also want to see how they incorporate Will because him, like, I feel like they kind of touched on it, but I want to see a deeper dive as far as like him coming from poverty. We're not necessarily poverty, but barely making it.
Yeah.
To come into extreme wealth.
Okay, because we know in the beginning when Will was all like, Mom, I want to go home, Trey's mad at me. I was like, Will, look at this mansion you crying in. This bedroom bigger than my apartment. What? What are we doing here? So yeah, 100%. To even be with that character while he was going through that like homesickness, while he's crying in a mansion. Like, you was over there struggling with your mama. You better be grateful.
In West Philly.
In West Philly, fighting for your life. Get out of here, Will. So, yeah, honestly, it's great to see this new version of it. I am in love with it. But the cinematography, again, some of the scenes are really shot like action films. The B-roll is insane. We get the best shots of LA. And the way that they actually casted the character to show some diversity in Black people. Okay? We get it. There's not a whole lot of other diversity. But just to see different variations of Black people, not the usual hot types like the Megan Goods, you know what I mean, or the the ones, the usual hot types, I'm just happy to see some normal looking people on TV that actually reflect what I see every day.
And it's beautiful.
It is. Anything else you want to add onto the show? Any other salt and pepper you want to talk about?
All I want to say is that if you have any openings, please cast me on.
Okay.
As an extra. I'll be one of the little.
Because I can be Lisa's best friend. You're a cousin from out of town. We step on the cheer team together.
I can be a music teacher. I can be one of the students. Whatever you want, I'll give
whatever
it to you.
Whatever you want.
But check out the show. Really, really dive into what you want to experience from the show. Like if you want to get the LGBTQ angle, if you want to get the race relations angle, if you want to get just the family angle, really dive into it and just let us know how you feel.
Ooh. And the soft life angle. That's the only one. Because Hillary and Aunt Viv, they live in soft lives.
As
they are living in their feminine energy because they have people around them that are actually dominating the masculine energy. Mm-hmm. Even Jazz being short, dating Hill. We're going to get on that later. But we understand that Jazz is not a big dude. Mm-hmm. but he's masculine and he allows Hillary to live in his feminine energy. So again, just seeing their soft life on that, I'm saying the show is good. It is black people in luxury, but the way that it always should, like, it just looks so good.
Exactly.
Again, like Black Gossip Girl, but better because like we're not copying Gossip Girl.
Exactly. It's something completely different. It's fresh. It has a pretty penny to it. Again, nice budget, great acting. And
this is your assumption for nice budget, because these people, what they did was they did quality. Maybe they did have a big budget, but you know, I also want to just acknowledge that I admire black people for being so good at having limited resources and making so much with it. We are so talented as people that we really create from the bare minimum of nothing. We could take the smallest amount of anything and make the most beautiful art with it. Absolutely. So I hope that they got the budget that they deserve, but, you know, but black people are amazing.
Absolutely.
That's it.
I do want to see a Will Smith cameo.
Yeah, no, that would be nice. That would be really nice. Well, you know what, second season, that's what I'm looking forward to. A Will Smith cameo. And maybe a real Aunt Viv. That would be nice. See her finest. We'll never see Uncle Phil again, though.
I know.
R.I.P. Uncle Phil.
R.I.P.
Well, thanks again, guys, for watching another episode of the Black Cinema Experience podcast.
I want to say at the same time, enjoy.
Thank you guys for watching.